In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful. Dear friends and fellows, you might have seen some of the people are once they suffer some sort of setback, then they keep declining their situation, their performance, the kind of results they were producing, and their status in the society, their position in a particular field. If some of the people, they keep getting worse and worse and even worse, they don't get better and they don't recover, while another, some of the people do recover and get themselves rehabilitated, they come out of the difficult situation. But why is there any sort of difference between the two of these? Maybe the first category of the people, they were the people who once they suffer some sort of loss and they fail to recover, rather they keep deteriorating. Maybe apparently they were looking more good, maybe apparently they were looking more aware and more knowledgeable, but what has happened to them as a result of this some sort of difficult situation? Why some other people do recover and come out, they, why do they get rehabilitated? So what is the difference between the two of these categories of the people? That is going to be the topic of our today's discussion, dear friends and fellows. The first category of the people who once they they took a wrong decision, and because of that wrong decision they were in the difficulty, the bad results started appearing and they started suffering, something really bad happened to them. Now these people, since they do have to get deteriorated, not intentionally obviously, but they get panicked and they thought that maybe I cannot afford to make any other mistake. They should not be making a mistake, no, 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 they shouldn't be. But at the same time, is it possible for you or for anyone else to become a perfect human being? That is absolutely wrong, that is absolutely not possible. Once you start, once you think like this one, the trouble is that once you think like you don't have any you cannot afford to make any other mistake, that now if at all you are not extremely careful, then maybe you are going to get a kind of worse situation, and your crisis will keep getting worse and worse and deeper. I think it is all because they panicked, it is all because they failed to stay relaxed. I am not absolutely saying that we should become a sort of irresponsible person. We don't need to become an irresponsible person at all. But at the same time, even if we are careful and a responsible human being, even then some sort of mistake will appear, and another some of these mistakes which we did make, obviously not intentionally and deliberately and advertently, but some of these mistakes will happen and does happen. Out of that result, if at all we started thinking that maybe I'm a worse kind of person, maybe I'm not capable and eligible enough, maybe I'm not competent enough, maybe all the people are better than me, and for that reason I shall not be able to recover, I cannot afford to make any other mistake at all. I think you will make the mistake, because that is something unavoidable, and that is something invincible, because it is error, it is human, it is human to err. So I think the mistakes are unavoidable, but obviously we do need to become slightly careful and cautious. We don't need to act in an irresponsible manner at all. Dear friends and fellows in Pakistan, we need to stay relaxed. Why do we need to stay relaxed? Because our system does not work properly, because we cannot make the right and the better decisions unless and until we are relaxed enough. Now the other kind, the second category of the people who do fall, but they do get up after a short span of time. Why? Because they people, despite they did note their the wrong thing, or the wrong step or the wrong decision or the wrong attitude. They did realize it, but still they did not panic. They did not panic. They stay relaxed, and they didn't advertise that they are in the sort of crisis, that they are in a sort of deep trouble. They did not advertise it. Rather, they kept somewhat silent, but they did share it with the people who are really sincere to them, the people who are their ally, and also did tell them that this is not something to be made public, and this is something which is confidential, and this is something which is a kind of private between me and you. So we should be protecting it, and we shouldn't be letting the people know this thing, because once the people do know that you are in a crisis, that you are in a trouble, what does happen? People stop cooperating, and they stop interacting with you. They rather minimize their interaction, their business dealing with you, because they are of the view that you might not be able to pay them back their favors, the credit and the other thing. I think, if at all you are somebody is unfortunately, God forbid, if at all somebody is in a trouble, if at all somebody is in a crisis, I think this is not the time to get panicked at all. This is not the time to get over serious at all. Rather, it is the time to stay relaxed. Rather, it is the time to stay relaxed and to be somewhat careful and cautious, and learn to make the right sort of decisions, and obviously not the perfect decisions, because the perfect decisions does not exist at all. We need to adopt the right sort of attitude. We do need to adopt the right sort of body language. Body language actually comes out of our mind. Thank you.